situations the way we want it. But our inner situations are not the way we want it. What's the point now? We are sitting with a kind of climate that we want in the outside, but the inner climate is not good. This doesn't work, isn't it? It doesn't matter where you are. You are sitting in a palace or in heaven, but your inner situation is not good. Now, it doesn't matter, isn't it? Yes? People are wanting to go to heaven. Why? Because they've made a hell out of themselves, obviously. See, who told you this is not heaven? How do you know? How do you know that you're not already in heaven and making a hell out of yourself? Because all the misery that you have ever experienced has happened only in your mind, isn't it so? Where is the manufacturing unit for all the human misery that's happening on this planet? California? Where is it? It's in your mind, isn't it? This mind could have been a ladder to the divine. This mind could have been a source of ecstasy, but this mind has become a source of misery for most people. Tension, anxiety, depression. Why? You just don't know how to handle it, isn't it? Yes? You just don't know how to handle it. This is a miracle which has gone wrong. With the humanity, human mind has gone wrong, isn't it so? This is actually a miracle. You could use this to make anything. This moment, if you want, you can make yourself absolutely ecstatic with the same mind, isn't it so? With the same mind, this moment you can become depressed and totally lost. Both are possible right now if you're willing. Yes or no? So why has it gone wrong? This is simply because without understanding the nature of this body, without understanding the nature of this mind, without understanding the nature of how this one exists within itself, we are just trying to live by accident. We're just hoping everything will be okay. They have been telling you for thousands of years, don't worry, God will take care of you, everything will be okay, everything will be okay. Look at the world and tell me what people are going through. Your life within, how joyful you are, how peaceful you are, happens to you only to the extent you understand and only to the extent you handle it. To what extent you're capable of handling it, only to that extent, only to that depth you will know life. Otherwise you will not know anything beyond that. For example, the mind, how we are handling it. Let's look at this. See, the nature of the mind is anything and everything your five senses come in touch with, your mind collects. Most of the impressions that you have gathered in your mind are unconscious. Every waking moment and every sleeping moment of your life, whatever comes in touch with the five sense perceptions is recorded. Every sound, every smell, every touch, every sight that you have gathered is all there in your mind. Some of them you are able to pull back and use. Much of it you are not able to pull back. But it is functioning. It is creating impacts on you in so many different ways, all these impressions. So this mass of impressions that come in, you have no discretion about what to take in and what not to take in. Whoever comes your way will stuff something into your head and go, you can't stop it. If you say, I do not like this person, you cannot stop input from that person. Actually, you will take in more from that person than anybody else, isn't it? So your mind, in one way, is just society's garbage bin. Yes. You can take garbage bin, whatever the content of the garbage bin, you can take it and make it wonderful manure for yourself. Or you can live in the garbage bin and struggle eternally. This is the choice that you have. So what you receive, there is no choice about it. Everything that you come in touch with goes inside. But you have the discretionary power to what to use and what not to use, isn't it? That is there. But that discretion has been lost in a lot of human beings. That's why they become compulsive human beings. Just see how much of your life is compulsive, how much of your life is conscious. Please look at this. Carefully observe yourself and see. How much of you is happening consciously? How much of you is happening compulsively? You will see a large part of you is happening compulsively. When you're happening compulsively, you will not happen the way you want yourself, isn't it? See, there's only one problem with your life. Life is not happening the way you think it should happen. That's the only problem. Is there any other problem? Is there any other problem? This is the only problem, isn't it? Life is not happening the way you think it should happen. In the same breath, you claim you believe in God. If you believe in God, if it is not happening your way, it must be happening His way. You must be even more happy it's happening your God's way. That's not the reality. So, world is not happening your way, it's okay. But now the problem is you are not happening your way. This is the problem, isn't it? Yes? Nobody in the world is happening your way, please see. Nobody around you will happen 100% your way, isn't it so? Yes? Nobody happens your way, it's okay. But this one person must happen your way. If this one person doesn't happen your way, you will become a tragedy. That's the tragedy of humanity. The world is not happening your way. That is not the problem. You are not happening your way. That's the problem, isn't it? So if things happen to happen your way, you have begun to understand in the world that you have to engineer it so that it happens your way. Now if you engineer your car properly, if you turn it here, you want it to go here, it goes right there. It's a good car. Otherwise you do it here, it goes and turns there. You know, there were cars like that before. Yes? Do you know in 50s and 60s, the American cars, if you want to turn them there, you have to turn them here? Not anymore, isn't it? Because better engineering. The same with you. No inner engineering has been done for you, isn't it? Just by accident you're trying to happen. So what you gather is not the problem. Your ability to use what you want is the question, isn't it? Isn't it good all the shit in the world you've gathered in your head? It's best you collect it. Because if you don't know, you will walk into it every day. If you know all this, you can see that you don't walk into those things, isn't it? Yes? See, being free of something and being ignorant of something is very different. Yes? You're ignorant of the ways of the world. You will bump into it today or tomorrow. You know all the crooked ways of the world, but you don't give in to that. You're consciously not there in it. That's a different thing, isn't it? So suffering is not conscious. If you're suffering in some way, that means that part of you has become unconscious, isn't it so? Nobody consciously creates suffering for himself, does he? Does he? If different levels of suffering are happening, that simply means different levels of unconsciousness exist within you, isn't it? What is conscious within you, that part of you, you will keep it the way you want it. Is it so? Is it so? Whatever is conscious within you, those parts of you, you will keep it the way you want it. Whatever is unconscious, those parts you are not able to keep it the way you want it. So all that you have to do with your life is make more and more of you conscious. If you strive to make this whole thing absolutely conscious, this will be 100% the way you want it. This one piece of life will happen exactly the way you want it. When that happens, I have absolute confidence in you that you will make yourself into an absolutely blissful human being. There's no question about that. There's no question about that.